Late in the evening, Danny leaves a voicemail for her parents, worried about a frightening message she received from her sister, Terry. Danny looks over the message once again. Afterwards, she calls her boyfriend Christian, asking if he wants to hang out. When she tells him that her sister still hasn't responded to her, he tries to assure her that her sister is probably just looking for attention. Danny has a feeling that Christian may be on the verge of breaking up with her and talks with a friend on the phone when she gets a call from an unknown number. Christian's friends, Mark, Josh, and Pele, all try to convince him that he won't regret breaking up with Danny, when she suddenly calls again. Christian gets up, answering the phone to Danny sobbing hysterically. Firemen head to the upstairs of a house, revealing that Terry has not only committed suicide, but also murdered her and Danny's parents. Christian goes to Danny's house and attempts to comfort an inconsolable Danny. Sometime later, Danny joins Christian at a party. Pele says that they are all going to Sweden for a midsummer event, which Josh will be writing his thesis on. Danny asks when it is, unaware that Christian was possibly leaving in 2 weeks. At home, Danny confronts Christian, telling him that it was weird that she wasn't told he was leaving. He counters by saying that he just decided today, despite already having a ticket. When Danny continues to push the subject, Christian attempts to leave. She quickly tries to convince him to stay, asking if he was going to find inspiration for his thesis. While the boys are planning the trip to Sweden, Christian tells them that he invited Danny, but that she won't be coming. Pele tells Danny about the festival they'll be going to that his family is having. He goes on to say that he believes it's good that she'll be joining them. When they arrive in Sweden, it turns out that Danny did in fact come after all. The group go on a 4-hour drive to reach the remote location where Pele's family lives. He introduces them to his brother Ingemar, who has also invited some friends from London to join the festival. Ingemar offers them some mushrooms, and at first Danny is reluctant to immediately have some, but she is ultimately pressured by Mark into having them. Later on, Mark starts having a meltdown from the trip and Danny sees grass growing on herself. Suddenly, Danny starts having major anxiety and goes into a shed where she sees someone behind her. She sprints out into the woods, only to wake up many hours later. They continue on foot through remote paths in the woods to arrive at the main village Horga. The visitors take in the amazing scenery while their bags are taken for them. Their hosts welcome them most warmly to Horga and their festival. They share a toast to kick off the 9-day festival that is held only every 90 years. Maya finishes getting herself ready and joins the festivities. When Christian leaves to join the dancing, Pele gives Danny a drawing as a birthday gift. While exploring around the village, Connie notices a strange tapestry and goes to take a closer look. It depicts a rather interesting story. The rest of the group take a look around the sleeping quarters. Pele explains how they see life like the seasons, while Josh takes notes. After every 18 years, you move on to the next stage of life.
What happens at 72?
Everyone settles in for bed as Pele says tomorrow is the first day of the big ceremonies. When Pele says the ceremony is at a stupa, Josh seems quite surprised. However, neither Josh or Pele explain what it may involve. The next day, everyone stands at the table waiting for the right time to sit. A boy rings a bell and an elderly couple come from the sacred temple. They join the table and sit, allowing everyone else to be seated. Finally, everyone begins eating. After the meal, everyone has a shot and the elderly couple are carried off in chairs. They are taken to the top of a massive cliff where everyone else stands below. The couple have their palms sliced and they mark a stone with their blood. The woman stands at the edge of the cliff for a moment, looking down towards Danny. Suddenly she falls forward, off the cliff and onto a rock below. The visitors look on, appalled and terrified. When the man approaches the cliff, Simon yells for someone to stop him. The man lands feet first, barely surviving the fall. The crowd immediately wails in agony with him until a man with a hammer finishes him off. Simon and Connie begin trying to leave, yelling at everyone as they go. One of the elders tries to explain that it is a great joy for them to follow this custom, and that it is better than fighting the inevitability of death. Danny walks off alone in tears, while Christian follows Josh into the sleeping quarters. He tells Josh that he has decided to write his thesis on Horga. Angered, Josh tries to reason with Christian, saying that's the whole reason he is here. Things end badly between the two when Christian isn't dissuaded. Pele finds Danny trying to pack her things to leave, saying that she doesn't know why she is here. Pele sits down with her to tell her that he understands her because he lost his parents in a fire. For him, however, it was different because his community was there holding him like a real family, which everyone deserves. She deserves. Pele asks her if Christian makes her feel held, if he feels like home to her. Christian finds Danny sitting in a field. When Danny questions why he doesn't seem that bothered, he explains that he is trying to keep an open mind about everything. Danny wakes in the middle of the night to a few people sneaking out the door. She watches her friends drive off without her as other disturbing thoughts flash through her mind. In the morning, Maya sneaks something under Christian's bed while Josh watches. Later he asks Pele what it is, and Pele tells him that it's a love rune that casts a love spell. Meanwhile, Mark takes a leak on a fallen tree and one of the residents runs over infuriated. Pele explains to him that it's an ancestral tree tied to all of their dead. Connie prepares to leave but is told by one of the elders that Simon had to leave without her because there was no room in the vehicle.
So they've just gone. They've left me just now.
And Connie, there was no room in the truck, yet it is coming right back for you.
Danny goes to tell Christian what she overheard with Connie, but he seems entirely unconcerned. Danny is invited by one of the ladies to join in their preparation of meat tarts. One of the elders shows Josh one of their sacred books, which is being written by Reuben, a young disabled boy. He tells Josh that he is unclouded by normal cognition. When Josh asks what happens after Reuben passes away, he tells him that they purposely inbreed to make a new oracle. Everyone sits down for lunch and drinks. Christian's drink is a slightly more reddish color. When Danny notices that Connie is missing, she is told that Connie was driven to the train station. Christian takes a bite of his food but finds what appears to be a pubic hair in it. Mark is suddenly asked by one of the ladies to come with her and he leaves. That night, Josh sneaks out to take photos of the sacred book. Someone sneaks up behind him and at first Josh thinks it's Mark. Suddenly Josh is hit in the back of the head. A man stands over him wearing Mark's skinned face. At breakfast, Danny wonders where Mark and Josh are and once again, Christian is completely unconcerned. One of the elders announces that their sacred book was found missing and asks that it simply be returned. Afterwards, they confront Christian and Danny asking where Josh is, noting that he and Mark disappeared at the same time. Christian tells them that Mark wouldn't have done it, but then completely disowns Josh as a friend. Danny is then told she is to go with the women for the day, and Christian has been asked by Sieve to come to her house. Danny is dressed in their clothes and given tea for the competition. Before they begin, the women stand in a circle around a post. Danny notices that her feet look like grass again. After an elder lady says some words, the women begin to dance. Christian enters Sieve's home and sits across from her. He begins by saying he doesn't know where Josh is, but instead, Sieve asks him what he thinks of Maya. She goes on to say that he has been approved to mate with her, that he is an ideal match.
I think I ate one of her pubic hairs.
Sounds probably right.
Danny continues dancing in a trance with all of the other women. As they dance, some of the women fall and they are taken out of the competition when they do. Christian sits down to watch for a while and is given something special to drink. He tries to return it, worried he'll have a bad trip, but the woman insists. Eventually, only Danny and 2 other women are left. Danny tries speaking some incoherent Swedish, which greatly amuses the other woman. However, distracted by Danny, she accidentally hits into the 3rd dancer, causing them to fall, leaving Danny as the winner. She is crowned as their May Queen. Danny is ushered through the crowd, being congratulated by all. Pele swoops in out of nowhere, kissing her on the lips. Danny is carried on a platform and taken to a plant-covered chair at the head of the dinner table. Only after she begins eating does everyone else join. Danny is given a raw fish that she is supposed to eat whole for good luck, but balks. Christian asks a man next to him what is going on, and in response he claps in front of Christian's face, causing him to trip out further. Maya locks eyes with Christian as she stands up, walking away, never breaking her gaze. Sieve then says it is tradition for the May Queen to bless their crops and livestock. Danny asks if Christian can join her, but is denied. She gets into a carriage and is pulled away. Seeds, meat, and an egg are placed into the ground and buried. Danny is told to repeat some words as they spin around the offering. Christian, on the other hand, not looking so well, is given something else to inhale. He is then taken to a building where a naked Maya is surrounded by nude women humming a tune. He approaches her and they immediately begin having sex. Danny arrives back at the main village, asking about the strange noises coming from the building where Christian is. Despite being told that it is not for them, Danny goes to investigate. She peers through the keyhole to see Christian committing the most bizarre betrayal imaginable. Horrified, she turns away, vomiting. The other women rush in to try and comfort her, taking her to the sleeping quarters. Together they breathe and wail as one with Danny. Christian completes the deed and seems to finally realize the strangeness of the situation. He runs out of the building nude and disoriented, where he sees Josh's foot sticking out of a flower bed. He turns away, hiding in a chicken shed. There he discovers Simon, strung up, flayed open, and decorated in flowers. He breathes raggedly, his lungs hang outside of his chest. One of the elders blows something into Christian's face, causing him to collapse. His eyes are closed, one at a time.
Kristen. Hi. Listen. You can't speak. You can't move. All right?
Sieve then announces that they gather to surrender 9 human lives. She says for every new blood taken, they will sacrifice one of their own. Since 2 of their own were dedicated earlier, only 2 need to volunteer now. The last will be chosen by the May Queen, Danny. For this, a resident of Horga is randomly selected as a sacrificial candidate. Danny must then choose whether this candidate or Christian be sacrificed as the 9th. Danny stares at Christian, the pain of his betrayal written on her face. The sacrifices that are already dead are wheeled into the sacred yellow building and seated on bales of hay. A dead bear sits on a table where its innards are removed. Christian is placed inside the bear, still paralyzed. He is also placed inside the building. Clearly, Danny has made her choice. The building is set aflame and all the sacrifices burn away. The 2 volunteers look at each other before screaming in agony. The onlookers scream and wail together as the building burns up. By the end, Danny looks on, a maniacal smile on her face.